Hi, welcome to 1 + 1 is 3. I'm Kirsten. If you follow me on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter, you will have seen that my baby has arrived. But this week I wanted to just round off my pregnancy updates and give you my 41 and 42 week update before I get into my birth story and introducing you to him. So before I start, if you hear a few little squeaks, then yes, baby is here with me, but I don't want to show him to you yet. I want to save that for his introduction video. So I am holding him, but just ignore it if you hear any little squeaks or cries. So if you see me looking down, I'm just looking at my phone because I made notes back around my 41 and 42 weeks of pregnancy so that I wouldn't forget, so that I remembered to tell you everything that happened. So at my 41 week midwife check, my urine was fine, my blood pressure was fine, baby's head was down but not engaged, but that wasn't really a surprise to me because he'd been engaging and then popping out again for the last few weeks. He still had his back to the right hand side of my bump and his feet and legs to the left. His heart rate was really good. They offered me a sweep, which originally I had thought I was not going to accept sweeps in this pregnancy, just because although it's not a medicinal induction, it's still not natural. It's not just letting the baby come when he wants to come. But by 41 weeks pregnant, I felt quite overwhelmed, tired, fed up, over it. I was ready to not be pregnant anymore, for lots of different reasons, really. Hey, we're talking about you. So yes, I did accept a sweep. She said that my cervix was soft and open at the bottom but closed at the top, and she couldn't actually get inside to sweep the membranes, and that kind of left me feeling quite disheartened because obviously baby was not going to make an appearance anytime soon if my cervix was quite firmly closed at the top. So yeah, I felt quite down. So the midwife let me know that the procedure from then on was that I would be offered a sweep every 48 hours until I had had 3 of them. And then at 42 weeks I'd be offered an induction, but since I said I didn't want to have an induction, they made an appointment at 42 weeks to go into hospital to have a check with the obstetrician, and that they would monitor the baby. They would give me a scan to check that the levels of amniotic fluid were still good and that the placenta was working well and things like that, and that I would have to do that every 48 hours until the baby was born. And the other thing actually was that after I had reached 42 weeks, I was not going to be allowed to have, or not encouraged to have, a home birth anymore because that made me outside of dates and therefore I was at higher risk. However, a very kind midwife let me know that it was my choice and that if I said I wanted to stay at home, then they had a duty of care to support me, and that the community midwife team would still come out to me and help me deliver my baby if I went over 42 weeks. I think she was kind of encouraging me, but I don't want to get her into trouble by saying that. So that's probably what I would have done, so long as everything was fine. The scans and monitoring showed that baby was fine, placenta was working well, and all that kind of stuff. So I was already drinking raspberry leaf tea 3 times a day. I was bouncing on my exercise ball, and I was using clary sage oil. I'm not really a fan of baths, so I wasn't having it in the bath, and I didn't have a diffuser, so I was just putting a couple of drops every day onto a handkerchief and every now and then having a little sniff of that. So the midwife recommended to me eating 6 dates a day because apparently there's been some evidence found recently for it softening the uterine muscles. So I started doing that as well. I had 2 dates with breakfast, lunch and dinner. I was determined this time not to do any of the old wives' tales because I've done them all before, twice, and they've never worked for me. But when you get to 41 or 42 weeks pregnant, oh, you just start getting desperate really for this baby to arrive. It's not fun being that pregnant. You just feel so tired, so heavy, so fed up of not being able to move your body in the way that you should be, and also just really want to meet your baby. So yes, I ate pineapple. I had a few hot, spicy meals, and other stuff. But yeah, so after my 41-week appointment, I then had a sweep 2 days later, which I think started my mucus plug coming away, because after that I had quite a lot of discharge, and then I had another sweep another 2 days later, which was much more successful, thankfully. This was on the Friday and baby came on the Monday, so I really think that that was the thing that kick-started labour. I had a really odd weekend. I couldn't sleep properly. I was getting all sorts of little aches and pains. I did think I was going into labour, but then it didn't happen for another day or two. So I may have been in early labour over that weekend, but I can't be sure. So I had an appointment booked with the obstetrician at 42 weeks exactly, which thankfully I never made. But that is the story for my next video. So if you'd like to see my birth story in full, that will be coming next week. Thank you so much for watching this. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit subscribe and press the notification bell if you want to be notified when my birth story is online next week. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. Oh, you didn't make that easy.